for all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time. I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. You can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families, dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason we are here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is Earth's finest water. And for those of you who continue giving on the gift segment of our app at New Life Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast, we thank you for your support and your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here so that you can have a place to hear from God for daily divine direction right here in 3D, Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I'm going to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we've been really working on expanding our platforms. So as you know, we will be going on RadioFreeNetwork.com. And I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, thank you, first of all, for encouraging your family, your friends, your coworkers, and colleagues to tune in. We've had a significant increase in viewership since we have expanded our platforms, and we continue to do so. So we will be on RadioFreeNetwork.com coming in the coming month, and I'm going to ask that you will continue to encourage everyone to tune in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. We are Facebook Live, we are YouTube Live, and of course, you know that you can reach us on our website at newlifeministriesinternational.com, and those of you who have our app at New Life Delaware. And so we thank you for all of your commitment and your support. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your family history has had a lot of drawbacks, and you are struggling with how to move forward with your life, and there have been so many family issues that you have not been able to overcome. So I'm going to say this to you first of all, and I want to encourage everyone, don't miss the Sunday sermon. Now, I know I'm very casual today because we're in our golf season and we have golf sponsors, but I am Pastor Pope, Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center in Wilmington, Delaware, at the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, 19809. So just so you know, I am going to be talking about this on Sunday as we conclude our sermon series that we have been in, living in the fullness of God. So we want everyone to experience the fullness of God. But what we don't want anyone doing is allowing the family history, so to speak, as you said in your communication, to cause us to become stagnant, to cause us to accept the circumstances of life and to not overcome them. So I'm going to walk through this so that we get a clear understanding. We cannot live in the fullness of God if we cannot overcome whatever family history there may have been that has caused you to feel stagnant, to feel that you cannot get to the place that God has appointed for your life. So whatever the drawbacks may have been, whatever, life circumstances that tend to suck us in and back into what we know as family history, we have to really make a conscious decision that we're going to break the cycle. I'll use that term today. That we're going to break the cycle. that we're going to eliminate in our own lives. We can't at 40 years of age still be hanging on to the challenges of family and not letting it go. This is why I am where I am today. No, the truth of the matter is that we haven't overcome the generational curse. We haven't overcome the challenges of the family environment. So think about this. You want to move forward with your life, and that in itself is a blessing that you've identified that there have been some things that have been holding you back or drawing you back into the family environment every time you step outside of the family environment. So as I was prayerful about this, God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. What happens is that you will try to step outside of that circle, and then you get drawn back in. And you're not making the progress you desire to make because you keep getting sucked back into the abyss, for lack of a better term. So you're struggling with that, and rightfully so. However, at this point in your life, at this age, at this point in your life, you're 42 years of age. You didn't tell me in your communication, but God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. So think about this. At 42, you have to say to yourself, I'm not going to allow what my family has dealt with for generations to continue to be part of my life. I want a better life. And this isn't being selfish. This is just making a conscious decision to move forward. Hopefully what will happen is that because you have made a decision to move forward, to break the cycle, someone else within your family will make the decision that they want a better life also. They want a better quality of life also. Your children will make a decision that they want a better quality of life, that they're not going to stay within the confines of the family circle, but they're going to get outside of the family circle and create a better life, a better quality of life for themselves. So you have a lot of family issues. You're correct about that. You can overcome them. You can make a conscious decision that you're going to overcome them, that you're not going to be a part of the family issues that have lived from generation to generation to now your current generation. And in the spiritual realm, we have what's called generational blessings or generational curses. And I don't want to preach my sermon for Sunday's sermon, but I want to make certain that we're clear on this. We have generational blessings or we have generational curses. We get to decide what those are. And at 42, you can no longer say that it's because of my family history that I'm not making progress. You can't even say that, listen, for all of our listeners and viewers, we can't even say that about our health. Yes, some things are hereditary. But there are certain things that we can do to improve our health and our wellness. We can make the changes. We can't eat the things that our grandparents or great-grandparents ate when they were working from sunup to sundown, when we're sitting in the office working on a computer doing spreadsheets and PowerPoint presentations. We're not going to have burn off the same energy. We're not going to burn the same number of calories. We can't eat the way that our great-grandparents ate. We need to make changes in our dietary habits. Now, every first Thursday of the month, we have a Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, on the air with us, giving us tips about health and wellness. BeccaTheDietitian.com. You can go on her website, you can take a look and see what she offers. You can see the tips that she provides. We can't even say that about our health any longer. We cannot, listen, if you're a smoker and your parents were smokers and your grandparents were smokers, all we have to do is quit. There's a reason that insurance companies ask you your nicotine habits. Have you smoked in the last 5 years? Have you smoked in the last 4 years? Have you smoked in the last 3 years? There's a reason that they ask those questions, because some of those things we can improve our health by just stop doing them. Well, it's the same thing about our lifestyle. We can just stop the madness. Stop doing what the generations before us have always done. Decide that we're going to make change so that we can enhance the quality of our lives. And we can build a better quality of life for ourselves and for our children, and hopefully someday our grandchildren, and hopefully someday their grandchildren, for the 4th and 5th generation. You can break a generational, I'm going into my sermon, but you can break a generational curse by starting a generational blessing. So I'm not going to get too far in. I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to say this, because you need to tune in. And if you're in our area, you need to come and worship with us on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. So think about this. You now have you've made the decision that you don't want to live the way your family has always lived. That's a good decision. Now the question begins, what action will you take to improve the quality of your life? So you need a strategic plan, and you need a strategic implementation plan. See, it's one thing to plan it out, but it's another thing to implement the strategy that you've planned. So you're going to have to sit down and decide, what do you want to accomplish in your life, personally and professionally? Watch this, for the remainder of this year. Let's start there. For the remainder of this year. And then, of course, I'm going to encourage you, make certain you've got a 7-year plan. And for those of us who have been with us since we started live streaming in 2017, it's time to start working on your 14-year plan, and then your 21-year plan, and your 28-year plan. We need a plan. If we don't have a plan, life has one for us, and it's called failure. Now, I know that society tricked us into believing that, by saying, and they had Christian people, good card-carrying Christian people saying, well, if you want to make God laugh, have a plan. I beg to differ. If you want to make God laugh, don't have a plan. He said, write the vision and make it plain, so that he that reads it may run to it. You have to recognize that all these little cliches that we've come up with, because they sound cute, they don't always make sense. So we have to understand we've got to have a plan. And you have to have a plan to overcome the circumstances of your family circle. You've got to have a plan that you can implement and work the plan every single day. And what you're going to find is that as you work the plan, you will begin to make progress step by step. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Now, I will say for all of our listeners and viewers, this is the time of year here in our region that we are able to get out, because now winter has passed us. We're able to get out, and of course, I'll be announcing our golf sponsor for today. But you get a chance to get out. You can run, walk, play tennis, play golf. You can do whatever it is that you want to do to enhance your health and wellness. So that's one of the first things that you really should put in that plan. And then the next thing is, what do you want to accomplish in your personal life? So in your home life, what do you want to accomplish for the remainder of this year? And then what about your children? What do you want to see them accomplish during the course of the remainder of this year? And you need to work that plan. And then you can work on your 7-year plan, because you haven't been with us for very long, and we thank you for tuning in to 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, so that you can hear from God. Someone encouraged you to tune in, and we thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. So now let's get you to the place where you begin to take action. You develop a plan, and then you take the action necessary to make the plan successful. So that means every single day we have to get up, we have to put our best foot forward. Well, first of all, when we get up, the first thing we need to do is we need to meditate and be in prayer, because that's going to be real important. The reason that we start our day with prayer and meditation is because we won't know what God will have us to do if we don't meditate and pray. Now, I'm not suggesting that you are going to pray for everyone else that you have in your circle, extended circle. I'm not suggesting that you're going to do all of that. That's my job as a pastor. You haven't gotten there yet, and that's okay. But it can be a very simple prayer. You know, it can be, God, what would you have me to do today? And would you give me the guidance? Would you give me the instruction? Would you order my steps? That's what I'm asking of you, God. Your meditation is just simply being quiet and listening. Listening for what God will speak to you. And he will speak to you. Sometimes we think we have to get real deep. We think we have to go into the holies of holies, and we think we have to pray heaven down, and because it sounds real good. But how about communicating with God? How about just simply communicating with God and sharing with God the things that are on your spirit, the desires that you have for the blessings of life upon others? Those are all part of my daily prayers. But you don't have to complicate things. You're trying to get to a new place right now. All you need to do is sit or lay and listen. Lay before God and listen. Don't talk. Don't let anyone else talk to you. Don't do anything else. No TV, no music, just listening. Speak, Lord, for your servant hears. Listen, that's all. And if you do that for 30 minutes, you might not get through the whole 30 minutes to start with, but that's the goal. 30 minutes a day. And then go into your prayer. And you can keep that real simple. God, show me what you want me to do today. What is it that you would have me to do today? And then work out your salvation. Put in the work every day. What most people don't realize, so I talked about exercising. So I went out for a run this morning, and when you run or walk, when you're out on the road, it's quiet. I don't run with music. A lot of people use music. I don't run with music. It's just me and God. And I'm listening. And at the same time, I'm exercising, focusing on my health and wellness, but I'm listening. And I'm using that analogy to say, because every mile that I run is a step that God is showing me he would have me to take. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Just, I use that as an analogy, but you can go out and walk if you're not a runner. If you run, go out and run. But we want to focus on our health and wellness while we are in the presence of God. Because life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And we've got to live this life to achieve a better quality of life so that we can experience the fullness of God. So I'm going to pray for you that you will find your way out of the circle that you're in. And that when you find your way out, step out of that circle, this time that you won't be drawn back in, that you'll continue moving forward and build a better quality of life. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue so that you can become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill. And if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. So I mentioned that on Sunday I'm going to be preaching a sermon that is going to be the conclusion of the sermon series that I started, Living in the Fullness of God. And I don't want you to miss this because, not only am I going to talk about breaking these cycles or the generational curses, but I'm going to show you how to do it. We talk about it often, but I'm going to show everyone on Sunday, so you don't want to miss this. If you're in our area, come and worship with us at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, at the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. If you're not in, service begins at 10 a.m., come and worship with us, and I promise you, you will leave on Sunday knowing how to develop a better quality of life, to experience a better quality of life. Now, if you're not in our area, you can tune in on wherever you are across the U.S. and wherever you are around the globe at 10:45 a.m. when the Sunday sermon goes live. But I will tell you, you don't want to miss this because we talk about generational curses and generational blessings and generational curses. But I'm going to show everyone how to break the generational curses and build generational blessings. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your daughter is planning her wedding now that restrictions are being lifted. However, she has decided that she now wants a destination wedding in the Caribbean, making it difficult for family to attend. Her expectations, listen, you didn't say this in your communication. I stopped with what you communicated. Her expectations are that everyone in the immediate family are going to be there. Okay. Those are her expectations. You are troubled because, first of all, everyone that in your immediate family is not going to be able to attend. Everyone's not going to be able to go to the Caribbean, and you think that she's going to be upset, you're upset or concerned because it's not going to be possible. Well, here's the news flash. That's her choice. She's choosing to have a Caribbean wedding, a destination wedding. She and her fiance have decided that. If people in the family are not going to be able to make it, they're not going to be able to make it. She's just not going to have everyone at her wedding because that's her choice. Your concern is that your husband is reluctant to go even though he said he will go. You're concerned that neither of you are going to have a good time because it's eliminating people from the family from attending. What we have to realize is that she may be upset, but it was her choice. And the power of our choices are going to determine just how much we're going to live with the joy of the Lord. Her expectations for everyone else are too high. Everyone else is not going to make it. Everyone else that she thought would make it is not going to be able to make it. And she's going to have to be okay with that because that was her choice. Now, it's her day and her fiance's day. And I know everyone thinks that the day is just for the bride, but that's not true. The wedding ceremony is for the husband, the groom and the bride, the husband and the wife. It's holy matrimony that allows them to live with the memory of standing before God, family, and friends, to profess their love for one another and enter into a contract that is supposed to last until death do they part. What she's chosen to do is exclude a whole segment of the population of your family because she's choosing a destination wedding. So you're trying to talk her into changing her plan of having a destination wedding and having it locally so that everyone can make it. You've had that conversation with her. She's adamant that she wants to have this destination wedding. Let her do what she has decided to do, and when the people that she expects to be there are not there, she will have to be okay with that. Sometimes we make life much too complicated. It's not that deep. She's made the choice. Her fiance's going along with it and has accepted that that's what she wants to do, and he's willing to honor that. So that's their choice. That's their decision. Go, you and your husband. He's going to give away his daughter. Go and be with them. Don't make it an issue for the two of you not to have a good time, and accept the fact that there are just going to be people in your family that are not going to be able to make that trip, including her grandparents. And that's unfortunate because she still has them. But that's her choice. And she's going to have to live with her decision for the remainder of her days. The power of our choices will determine just how much of the joy of the Lord we get to live within. This segment of the broadcast today has been brought to you by Nike Golf. We have an Achievers Golf Academy that covers our Achievers Academy, and we offer students the opportunity to play golf. We have an annual golf tournament to raise money for our college tours, and Nike Golf is one of our sponsors, and we thank them for their support. And for all of you who are golfers, Nike Golf has everything that you could possibly need to accommodate your golf game. And for those of you who are not golfers, the great thing about Nike also is that they have running gear, they have athletic gear, they have gear for any type of exercise that you would like to enjoy at Nike.com. Of course, you can reach Nike Golf at NikeGolf.com. But we want to encourage everyone to experience the game of golf or get some exercise to improve our health and wellness. And the reason, as I said yesterday, and I'll continue to say this, the reason that we want you to perhaps enjoy the game of golf is because golf is a game that will enhance your business opportunities. You will never get 4 to 4.5 hours of FaceTime with anyone except on the golf course. But for those of you who are not golfers, go to Nike.com and get out and improve our health and wellness. Nike has a slogan, just do it. We encourage you to do it. Get our health and wellness in order. Of course, the first Thursday of next month with us, who will be answering all of your questions about health and wellness, about diet and nutrition. Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, BeccaTheDietitian.com, will be with us the first Thursday of every month right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers. I'm probably going to run out of time, but I just want to begin this, and we'll talk about it a little further in a subsequent broadcast. But times have changed. Listen, we have to make certain as we come out of this pandemic. One of our listeners and viewers was concerned about finances as we come out of this pandemic. Was concerned about, how's it going to impact our financial stability as we come out of this pandemic. And I want to say to everyone, keep your mind on your money and your money on your mind. Okay? Just make certain that we are practical. Let's just make certain that we are saving and investing, because you can't save your way to wealth, but you can save and invest your way to wealth. Let's make certain that we're saving and investing. We're doing all of the things necessary to build and preserve our financial wealth. But let's make certain that we are practical in our spending. Let's make certain that we are not overindulging as we come out of this. We're so excited about coming out of the pandemic that we just enter into the roaring 20s. They will occur again, but let's make certain we're not part of that. And let's just make certain that we do everything that we can to ensure